Evanston. I'm a third generation Evanstonian, and I am out of town right now. And a young lady came to me and said she was from Evanston, Illinois, because she heard on the news that all of us are getting $25,000. And she's like, I wish I had a cousin there or whatever. She said, I've been talking about it for 2 or 3 weeks. And I told her, that is not a true statement. I don't know what news outlet you got that from, but I am not getting $25,000. I don't know anybody from Evanston that said my family is getting $25,000. So I just told her that's not true. So I just wanted to make that clear, that stuff is being put on the news and people are getting the impression that everybody is getting $25,000 in America. I mean, in Evanston. And that's not true. That's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thanks, Sebastian. So real quick, I'm glad Devon got a chance to say what he said, because he made the case for exactly why this shouldn't be called reparations and why it's not reparations. So when he says, yeah, there's no way for us to fix all the 10,000 residents. Exactly. That's what reparations would do. And so since it doesn't do that, then let's not call it reparations. It could be the redlining correction policy. It could be the housing program. It could be let's help you get a house, whatever you want to call it. But the minute you call it reparations, and on top of that, one of the organizations that's tied to this bill through, I think she's an Alderman Simmons, is in Cobra and NARC. And so when they put out an article saying that, yeah, this reparations bill in Evanston can be the model for the national reparations initiative and policies, that's a problem. And that's why you can't call it reparations. So let me speak for myself, because I don't want to speak for anybody else. I'm on this call. I'm not a resident of Evanston, but I have no problem with Evanston doing reparations. But what I'm not going to do is sit back and accept some piecemeal BS pseudo reparations that ain't reparations. And so unless we're going to do it right, and unless we're going to do it real, then we're not going to do it at all. So we can do this housing program, but even the housing program ain't done right, because if you're given $25,000, we've already said that it can't buy anything in Evanston, right? Or anywhere else for that matter, definitely nothing here in New York. But if there's no policy attached to that says we're going to fight against the predatory lending, we're going to make sure that the same banks that did this to you in the first place aren't the ones that you go and get those loans and are helping you subsidize and help you with the mortgages on these homes, and or there's no policy to ensure that these homes in these black neighborhoods, because what also redlining and what also systemic oppression did to our communities, where it made us a contagion to wealth. And so even when we get these homes, they don't accrue the same value, the same equity as white homes. Not because we don't take care of them, not because we don't maintain our lawns, but because we black. And specifically not just black, but the descendants of those ancestors that survived slavery. And so until we start talking about that and doing that in conjunction with giving us some $25,000 piecemeal, we can't call it reparations, because the minute we call it reparations, it's going to get co-opted like it's being co-opted now and being pushed as the model for national reparations. That's the problem. So I don't think anybody on this call has a problem with a real reparations program that Evanston or anybody else wants to do. But if it's not going to fix every one of those descendants of the slaves, then we can't call it reparations, because that's what reparations does. So let's not get caught up on this. Well, can we define reparations? We don't know what reparations is. Guess what? Reparations was designed to right the wrongs of slavery, and everything else that followed. So if we're not doing that, then we can't call it reparations. And that's just my 2 cents from Brooklyn.
Thank you, Devon. It's important that everybody's voices are heard, and that we recognize that the procedure that has taken place so far has not been very democratic, in the sense that there hasn't been a ton of community involvement and community participation. Reparations meetings are at 9 a.m. on a Thursday, when the average median black household income is $44,000. And if you're making $44,000 a year, you're not able to go to a reparations meeting at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. You have work, you have a family to take care of. So I implore everyone to either shoot council members an email or join in city council for public comment in the beginning. I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time. I know Roulette has their hand up, so if they want to unmute and ask a question, make a statement, feel free. Roulette, would you like to chime in? You have your hand raised.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we hear you good.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I had a problem with getting my mic to work. But what I wanted to say is this. I'm a longtime Evanstonian. I was born and raised here. My mother was born in 1922 over on East Railroad. I was kind of disappointed. I was embarrassed. I was dumbfounded when we got on TV and started talking about reparations, which we hadn't voted on yet. It made it sound like to the people who live someplace else that we have already done it, which in fact we hadn't. Like others, I had people asking me, well, when am I going to get my money? I said, there is no money to be had. The problem I have with this whole thing is this. It seems like the government, federal government, local government seem to be going out the same hymn book. They do what they want to do regardless of what the people want them to do. If in fact, I don't know how we can do it, but there has to be a way that we can stop them from from voting on this on Monday. There are too many people. I don't believe it's reparations, okay? It's the farmers, black farmers that are getting the money, they want to tag it as reparations. And the black farmers are having a problem with it being called reparations, okay? Reparations, this is not reparations. Words have power. Words mean things, and we have to be careful of how we use words. We teach children in school, use your words appropriately. Find out what they mean. Use them as such. And then we're going to change the meaning of the word reparations to fit what we want it to be. And I don't know who's going to benefit if we vote on Monday. Someone's benefiting because the people sure aren't. And I have a problem with that. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your words. Justin Cooper had their hand up, so if they want to chime in really quickly and statement and question, anything, feel free.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's coming to a vote. It's coming up on Monday. I just feel like if they just changed it and not call it reparations, I feel like it would not make people happy, but would be calling it what it's not. It's a housing program. At the end of the day, it's a housing program. At the end of the day, $10 million over 10 years, that's $1 million per year, only helping totally over the 10 years, 400 people max. That's not reparations. Even just the fact that you're getting some of this money out of the cannabis tax in Evanston is just assuming that black people don't buy weed from the dispensary. And therefore, I feel like as a black man in Evanston, born and raised since 1980, that me paying into my own reparations is kind of backwards. But and at the end of the day, this is just setting a low bar for the word or just what reparations should be for this country. And I feel like since we already heard some Republican senators call what they just passed in the whatever the act they just passed, and saying that they're giving black farmers money is reparations, which is not. None of this is reparations. It's a housing program, and so let's just call it what it is.
Thank you. Divine, do you want to make a statement, comment?